now, we're expecting the New York criminal trial against President Trump to resume. A Trump Organization bookkeeper set to take the stand again for cross-examination. Let's bring in Jonathan Turley, George Washington University law professor and a Fox News contributor, and an expert in all of the things that we're going to talk about today. Jonathan, I was reading your column, and you had made some very good points just about how this was a dumpster fire as of yesterday. Do you think that the cross-examination was as bad as yesterday was?
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, I thought they left her in a fine pumice at the end. I think that there's not much left of her credibility. It was a devastating cross-examination, and that's not too surprising. What's interesting is that's not too surprising. I mean, the prosecutors clearly wanted to get the lurid stuff out. They clearly knew that she would combust on the stand. There's no way she could withstand cross-examination. So, query me this. Why did they put her on the stand? Why did they have such a broad series of questions? And the answer is because they wanted that. They wanted to play it out for the cable news. They wanted to get it out there. And it really sort of reaffirms the narrative of Trump, that this is an extension of politics, that they're less interested in winning the case as they are the election.
Imagine what would have happened in the courtroom if it were actually on TV, if Judge Merchan had allowed that. So Let's turn ahead because, so Stormy Daniels was if you're talking about the Tour de France, right, the mountain stages slowly go up until the pinnacle at the end. We're probably at about stage 4 now, and then the big coal is coming at the end in the form of Michael Cohen. And you wrote this about Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen goes on TikTok with new Trump taunt and announces campaign for Congress. You say, who would have thought that District Attorney Alvin Bragg calling a porn star to the stand would be the moral high ground for key witnesses? Next could be a disbarred, convicted perjurer who is still seeking to make money off of the case. What do you expect, Jonathan, when Cohen takes the stand?
Well, first, John, I'm shocked that you thought that the highlight of the last 2 days was the porn star, not the bookkeeper. I thought the bookkeeper's testimony was riveting. It was fascinating to see the identification of signatures, what checks came back, what didn't. But that may just be me. Obviously, everyone is waiting for Cohen. I think that what is astonishing that is what we've learned so far, which is that we haven't learned anything so far. It's all going to be based on Cohen. Most of us really have been saying that this case appears to be entirely bet on Cohen, but we didn't quite believe that because who would base their case on Michael Cohen? But as Stormy Daniels wraps up, it does appear clear now that the only person that can establish whatever crime they're suggesting, and I'm not too sure what that is, will be Michael Cohen. Now, that alone is breathtaking. But the fact that Michael Cohen is still out there trolling for dollars, taunting Trump, really makes the judge look not just feckless, but farcical. I mean, it's really embarrassing to the court.
As we head toward the Michael Cohen testimony, the prosecution will make the case that Cohen knows where all the bodies are buried. He was the mastermind behind it all. But then on cross-examination, Trump knows where all of the bodies are buried too. And I think that, I don't know if it'll be Susan Nicholas that does the cross or it'll be Todd Blanche, but they'll probably have some pretty pointed questions for Mr. Cohen, I think.
No, this is going to be a fascinating testimony. It's like you won't be able to get your eyes off it. It's like watching a DC pigeon actually fly. It's just going to be bizarre to watch Michael Cohen get on the stand. First of all, take the oath and see if lightning strikes the courthouse. But then to actually say, I think my client should go to jail for following my legal advice. I mean, how you get your mind around that as a juror is something that'll be fun to watch.
Real quickly, because we're out of time, Jonathan, do you think that what we've seen over the last 2 days gives enough enough reasonable doubt to her testimony to also have jurors question whether there was actually election interference? And then we're talking about misdemeanors rather than felonies.
Well, first of all, there was no election interference. That's one of what I think is the reversible errors that the judge has made. He's allowed the prosecutors to keep on referring to those violations that do not exist. Trump did not violate federal election laws. The Department of Justice declined that. It would have been the John Edwards 2.0 trial, and they were not going to do that. Now, at the end of the prosecution's case, the defense will stand up and ask the judge to dismiss. He should dismiss at that point, but something tells me he won't.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, I don't think he will either. But his instruction to the jury will be very interesting because what, if the federal government didn't find one, did Alvin Bragg find as the underlying crime? Professor, great to talk to you. Thanks so much. We look forward to your next missive.
Thank you.
All right.